Everybody's talking about it this morning. He was the world's most wanted man, and this morning, Osama Bin Laden is dead.
U.S. Navy SEALs tracked Bin Laden down in Pakistan and killed him last night. He's already been buried at sea. Louisiana Congressman Steve Scalise is in this morning with reaction. Thanks so much for coming in, Congressman.
Great to be with you.
Obviously, a huge milestone, something that's been a decade in the making.
Yeah, and this is something that I think is such a big boost, morale booster for our men and women in military. Unfortunately, we've lost so many people in this battle against terror, not only in Iraq and Afghanistan, but in other places. And then, of course, the victims, the families of those who lost their lives. In September 11th, I think it's a great day for all of them to see this chapter closed in the war on terror. The battle's far from over, but I think it's a critical milestone, and it's a great victory for America.
Congressman, what's your take on the state of U.S. intelligence? This search has been going on for 10 years now. He's located in a compound that was built in 2005 with 18-foot walls around it, 2 hours north of Islamabad. I mean, are you concerned at all that, first of all, our relationship with Pakistani officials may not be all that it should be?
Well, there's going to be a lot more detail that comes out on this. I think everybody in America wants to know as much as we all can, but I think as you look at the details, I think it's going to be important to see what relationship Pakistan played in the intelligence gathering, because our intelligence officials, I know, have done such a great job in pinpointing. This has been something that's been months in the making. This wasn't just some kind of overnight find. And so the fact that our intelligence officials did at least get a victory in this, and I'm sure many others that we haven't heard about, but I think it's something this high profile. It shows that the intelligence did work in this case. But the questions I think we'll have, one will be just how much involvement did Pakistan have in helping us, because we've had a lot of speculation for years that he was in and around the Pakistan border, possibly in the mountains, but in this case, as we see, in essence, a palace.
Right under a lot of folks' nose in Pakistan. Looking ahead, this is certainly not the end of the battle against terrorism. There is a number 2 in place with Al-Qaeda. Do you worry about retribution? Do you worry that Al-Qaeda is going to be coming for redemption now?
Well, I think our Homeland Security Department will probably increase the threat levels, but at the same time, our threat level's been high for a number of years since September 11th, and I think that you'll see maybe some attempts by Al-Qaeda to try to reestablish themselves, but this is a major blow to the Al-Qaeda organization. We know that there are cells still operating throughout the world, but Osama Bin Laden was always the head of the organization, and somebody who many thought maybe would never be found or captured, and now is dead. So, I think it's a major blow, and it shows that whether you're the number 2 or 3 or 4 person, but even if you're the number 1 person of Al-Qaeda, we're going to find you and we'll take you out.
Congressman, a comment, if you would, on the abilities of U.S. fighting forces. They go in helicopters. They suffer no casualties, from what we understand, and go into a heavily fortified compound. How big of a victory was this for U.S. Special Forces?
It's a major victory, and I've met Navy SEALs before, and there are many things they can't tell you for real reasons of national security, but at the same time, the kind of work that they're capable of doing. You hear about it anecdotally, but in this case, just to have such a high-profile victory carried out by Navy SEALs with no injuries is especially important, not only to the Navy, but to all of our men and women in uniform who have risked so much for these freedoms that we enjoy.
A historic day for the globe and for the U.S. Congressman Steve Scalise, for sharing your thoughts this morning.
Thanks. Great to be with you.